What is going on, everybody? This is JMO back again, bringing you another hardcore game of domination, and this time it's on one of the new maps from the DLC map pack that just came out recently, and this is the map Rise. Now, this gameplay is going to be a little different than the rest. I've never played this map. I'm not familiar with this map at all. I don't know the spawn areas or nothing completely about this game that I am familiar with. So the reason that I decided to bring you this game, and it's not even one that I did too well on, I only ended up going 19-5, but as you see right now, I'm actually just kind of looking around, looking at lines of sights. But again, the reason that I decided to bring this video and show it to you guys is to show you through the step process that I go through when I play on a new map that I'm not familiar with, how I go about deciding what routes to take that work best for me, how I go about choosing the best camping spots on a map that I'm not familiar with. So I'm hoping that this will help you guys kind of figure out how to play the new DLC maps that you guys are playing for the very first time, and just deciding and figuring out how to best approach the maps for the very first time. If you notice, the very first thing that I did, while most of my teammates went through the middle or the other side of the map, I actually went the opposite way, and towards the edge of the map instead of the middle. Now, the reason that I decided to actually go towards the edge of the map instead of the middle is because I never go to the middle of the maps, because that's mostly where people get killed a lot. So at this point, I'm kind of surveying this area. If I was to hold it down, or if I needed to hold it down for a little while, how to best approach it. I ended up coming back over here though, because after I killed that guy for the first 2 times, I knew that he was going to be coming back. So again, I'm just trying to figure out how to best hold down certain areas. I wasn't expecting for this guy to come along with his teammate though, but that's okay though, because at this point I'm not really too concerned about dying too much. I'm not really too concerned about getting my kill streaks at this moment. At this moment, it's just pretty much about me getting familiar with the map, kind of just paying attention to see what the high traffic areas are, and those are the kind of things that I look at when I first approach a map. See, that's not something that I normally would have done, jump on top of something and give somebody the advantage. But again, I'm just testing out this map. Now at this point, now I'm actually ready to go towards the other side of the map to see where there's spawn areas that the enemy began with, see what it's like. As far as exploring and getting myself familiar with the middle side of the map, well, eventually, once I decide to get into my kill streaks, that's what I'm going to use to get familiar with the middle of the map. I'll be using my tank or Talon, and that's what I'll be using to get familiar with that area of the map. So far, I'm liking this part of the map a lot more than the other side of the map. It looks like this area is going to be a lot easier to hold down than the other side. But the first half of the match is just going to be, again, of me getting familiar with the map, and then the second half I'm going to start getting into my kill streaks. But for the moment, I'm just kind of looking at the line of sights, trying to take this UAV while I get taken out as well. But again, I think this is going to be my area that I probably will be holding down, especially this cement pipe right here. It provides great cover, so this, from playing so far, it looks like this ended up becoming my favorite part, especially right here. The main thing that I liked about this area, if you noticed from some of my other videos, it's the fact that I don't have to worry about my backside. I don't have to worry about anybody spawning behind me. The only parts that I have to look at is my left and my right side with a trip line, and once I get my beehives, I can set those on my right side, and then the only side that I would have to worry about would be my left side. So at this point, I'm just trying to get back to the same area that I was just in, and now I'm actually going to try to test it out, see how good it is as far as holding that area. Now eventually, the more that I play certain maps, the more that helps me decide what would be the best kill streaks to use for those maps. From the time that I spent playing this particular match, I think what I will probably end up using when I play domination for this particular map, I'm definitely going to be using the sentry gun. I think the sentry gun will be a good kill streak to use to hold down either this side of the map or the other side of the map. But yeah, so definitely the sentry gun, and then either the Talon or the Cerberus, my tank. So either one of those two would be good choices. I don't think the Wraith will be too good on this one. I could be wrong, but again, I'll figure that out the more that I play it. And actually, you know what? I think the Wraith actually, never mind, I just changed my mind again. I actually do think the Wraith would actually be a good, kill streak to use. You could place the Wraith on C while you're holding down A, or vice versa, since it's open space areas. So yeah, the Wraith would actually probably be good. But again, as I mentioned, kill streaks will be determined once I actually play it a little bit more often. As far as like TDM and kill confirm, I probably will be using the Cerberus and the Talon. I think those will probably be the kill streaks that I'll probably be using. But now that the second half of the match started, I'm actually going to try to hold down an area and see how well that area holds down the back cement pipe area that I mentioned that it became one of my favorite spots just from the time that I was spending there. So again, now it's just about testing it. Look how well you're able to get some cover from this little small cement pipe. Look at that area that I was just looking at, how it's a whole bunch of open space. So if they want to come towards me, they would have to run to an open space where I have cover, so I would always have the advantage. Now this right here, where I'm actually replacing the trip mine, this would be the only area that I would have to be a little bit more careful and patrol a little bit more often, because it's not quite as open. But once I get my beehives, it'll be a lot easier to control. And see that? Just look at that open space. It's just so easy to take them out from here. This is an area that I can see being able to get all the kills, to be able to get all my kill streaks, regardless of what kill streaks I choose to run. Do you see what I'm talking about? It's just, I mean, this little spot, I fell in love with this spot immediately. This spot is just great. So basically, the way that I've approached this map, that again, I had up until this point had never played before and was absolutely unfamiliar with anything about this map, it's the same way that I approach every single map that I play for the first time. I play it no differently. So this is the reason why I wanted to show you guys this video, even though again the gameplay was not one of my best. Again, I only ended up going 19-4, so it's not one that you can say that I had a beast of a game or anything like that, but it was just more so to show you guys my approach, my techniques on how I go about learning a new map, so that hopefully it'll help you guys and make playing a new map for the first time a lot easier. So hopefully it'll do just that. Another thing that I like to do to make this game easier for me and learning the new maps, a lot of times what I will do is I go into a private match and just walk around the new maps. I don't play against no bots or anything. I just do a walkthrough to get myself familiar with the areas, start strategizing, figuring out what areas may or may not work. Even though some of the areas that, even though I may think they may end up working, once you actually start playing with actual people, because of the spawn areas, the traffic areas, they may or may not work though, but at least I'm actually familiar with the environment, with the in and outs of the maps. So it's just about getting familiar. It's all about awareness. That's all it is. Getting familiar with the routes, the little hidden areas, hidden spots, corners, etc. And even though my servers just got taken down, if you noticed, I waited until I had that, for me to start exploring the middle side of the map, and also the pipe area where I was laying down while running my tank. That was not necessarily the best spot for me to lay down on, while running my kill streak. It's just too much of an open space area. But again, this match was all about just getting familiar with this, and that's all it was. For me, this spot was a success. I was able to get my Cerberus, I was able to get my Talon, even though it was towards the very end of the match, because the time ran out. I wasn't really paying attention to the time either, because again, I was more focused on learning this map. But again, It was 19-4 for my very first match ever on this map. Hope what I mentioned will help you guys out. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I will catch you all later.